To study the great singer Caruso, one can approach it from multiple angles. The most essential way is to learn vocal techniques directly from what he himself said. Secondly, one should study the vocal books he published. Thirdly, valuable insights can be gained from books written by others about Caruso. Of course, one can also research him by piecing together information from various sources. Today, we will begin with the most important aspect, Caruso's own words, to explore the greatest tenor in history. Through exclusive interviews in a Q&A format, we will listen to Caruso's explanations of vocal technique. Due to length constraints, we will release Caruso's interviews in 4 separate videos. Those who are interested, please listen carefully. To become an outstanding tenor, the most crucial step is to hear what the greatest tenors in history have to say.
The great artist Enrico Caruso, a Q&A introduction. Today, we have the special privilege of interviewing the renowned chief editor of a vocal arts publication from the early 19th century, who has conducted an exclusive conversation with the legendary singer, Enrico Caruso. In this rare discussion, Mr. Caruso answers a series of questions about the art of singing and his professional career, sharing his invaluable experiences and insights. Below is the full interview. Question 1. Mr. Caruso, what efforts and sacrifices do you believe are necessary to become a successful singer? Additionally, how do you maintain the youthful vitality of your voice?
Caruso, in response to the first question, said, "Very few people, except for the small circle dedicated to the art of singing, truly understand this. Every opera singer's achievements are closely related to their lifestyle, relentless practice, and concern for their health. The general audience rarely knows the extent to which singers sometimes suffer due to extreme nervousness, or how they are affected by the excitement of the stage before a performance. Most listeners are also unaware that renowned singers must lead a very simple life and exercise great self-restraint in many aspects. Of course, these conditions vary greatly depending on the singer's personality. However, based on my own experience, I strive to illustrate the immense burden placed on singers with exceptional voices. Perhaps I was more naturally gifted than some others and received excellent technical training, which allowed me to achieve in vocal artistry what others can only attain through prolonged and intense effort. Nevertheless, I constantly think about how to maintain the youthful vitality of my voice. The better the voice, the more care it requires. Personally, I address the issue of vocal preservation through a balanced and disciplined lifestyle."
Question 2. Mr. Caruso, diet plays a crucial role in a singer's performance and overall health. Could you share your usual eating habits and how you manage your diet on performance days to maintain your voice and stamina?
Caruso answered the second question. By the way, diet is also very important. I always eat a light, so-called continental breakfast, and I usually have it quite late. At 2 o'clock, I have a more substantial lunch. My main dish for lunch is usually pasta from our homeland. My habit is to eat light yet nutritious meals. If I have a performance in the evening, I don't eat anything after lunch. At most, I have a small sandwich with meat and a little glass of wine, and that's enough. After the performance, of course, I decide my menu based on my mood, but I always keep it moderate. I was born with a good digestive system and don't need to control my diet as strictly as many other singers do. However, I always take care not to overeat because the condition of the stomach is closely related to the condition of the vocal organs. If one is not well, the other will also feel uncomfortable. Many people might be curious about why I go such a long time without eating before singing. It's simply because the space needed for diaphragm expansion during breathing would be occupied by food, preventing me from taking deep breaths as desired. In this case, it is impossible to produce a good voice because the most essential element, smooth breathing, is lacking. Furthermore, digestion consumes some energy, but as singers, we need all our energy for performing. These seemingly obvious things are crucial for singers, especially on opera or concert performance days. A singer's schedule is often so packed with rehearsals and performances that there is little time for physical exercise. This deficiency should be compensated for according to one's personality and habits. For example, I find that doing some simple physical activities in the morning, right after getting up, like the exercises soldiers use as soldiers usually do, or a few minutes of light dumbbell training, is very beneficial. At the same time, one should not forget that singing itself, as it involves deep breathing, greatly helps in combating fat accumulation. Moreover, performing on stage is almost a form of physical exercise. I have found that a proper and moderate diet plays just as important a role in maintaining a balanced physique as many physical exercises do.
Mr. Caruso, what are your thoughts on smoking and drinking? How do you believe they affect a singer's voice?
Caruso answered the third question. When addressing whether singers can drink alcohol, the key is to first consider how alcohol affects them individually and what kind of alcohol they are accustomed to drinking. Therefore, the answer can vary. In Italy, we enjoy having a little light wine with meals. I always drink our domestic wine and even personally take part in the winemaking process. I firmly believe that the only correct approach is moderation, and I have always followed this principle. I strongly oppose drinking strong alcoholic beverages, especially whiskey, as it is consumed in Anglo-Saxon countries. One must understand that strong whiskey can irritate the delicate vocal cords, as well as the nervous system, and at that point your beautiful high C will say goodbye to you. Although I occasionally allow myself to smoke a cigarette, I advise all singers, especially young ones, not to develop the habit of smoking. It will inevitably have a negative impact on the highly sensitive tissues of the vocal organs. From what I have said above, it is clear that one must not abuse their vocal instrument. This invaluable organ requires care and protection.
Mr. Caruso, your reputation and fame have been widely recognized across the world. However, you have mentioned that such renown also comes with many obligations and sacrifices. How do you perceive the impact of fame on a singer's life? And how do you balance these temptations while maintaining the health of your voice?
Caruso answered the fourth question. The various obligations that fame brings to a singer who is beloved by the public can be very tempting. However, even invitations from the closest friends can only be accepted selectively, because a singer must prioritize their voice and health, though this may seem somewhat selfish. In most cases, a singer has to resist many temptations. Speaking loudly in public is very harmful to a singer's throat, which is a highly sensitive instrument. A singer may also find it impossible to drink all the toasts offered at social gatherings. That is why I prefer to have a simple dinner with a few good friends, of course, only on evenings when I do not have to sing. Alternatively, I might go to the theater to watch a play, as it requires no speaking on my part. By now, readers may realize that a singer's life is far from leisurely and privileged, even if their fame is known worldwide and they receive applause from those seated in the golden horseshoe of the opera house.